watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law, voted best of Pahrump for 4 years. Give them a call, 775-727-9900. News 25 is also brought to you by Gunny's Air Conditioning and Heating. New, service, and repair. Call Gunny's, 775-727-6800.
Hello and welcome to News 25. I'm Unat Gentry. It is Tuesday, May 16th. Well, more footage of defendant Brad Maine's arrest is shown Monday in closing arguments. They were given by both teams.
Yesterday, as trial continued for the murder of 27-year-old Roy Jaggers at Cathedral Canyon, closing statements began in the late afternoon.
As you can see, these are uncontested facts, undisputed facts that we heard the defendant testify on the stand. He admitted to the fact that Roy was killed at Cathedral Canyon. He admitted that his shotgun was used. He admitted that he was at the gun range. He admitted that the tools he brought to the gun range were part of the torture. He admitted that Roy was driven to Pahrump by Heather and Kevin. And additionally, when Mr. Ferguson asked him a number of questions about the evidence, he authenticated. He said what that evidence is. So those issues are not in dispute at this point. They're uncontested, and we're only here. The bottom line, determine who killed Roy, who pulled that trigger on that shotgun.
He then proceeded to play the footage of when Maine was arrested by Nye County Sheriff's Office Captain Berukowitz.
How many shots did you fire?
2. There was one to scare him, and then 2.
And he jumped off the cliff when you fired that one?
Yes.
And then he's running? Or he's walking, or what?
He was running.
And then what?
I panicked, and I took 2 more shots at him, and then I took the last shot out of the shotgun to make sure it was empty before I threw it back in the car.
Gunnell goes on to state kidnapping begins when the lawful detention is initiated and ends only when the victim both feels and is in fact free of detention.
Roy never was free. He was killed. The victim in this case, Roy, never had the opportunity to be free again.
Afterwards, defense attorney Tom Gibson took to the stand to give his closing statements.
There's always 2 sides to a story. And this is Mr. Maine's story. Mr. Maine told you in his own words that what happened the night in question. He basically said that Heather Pate and Kevin Dent caused all the torture that happened the evening in question. And that was proven actually beyond a reasonable doubt at trial.
Gibson goes on to state that Heather Pate and Kevin Dent clearly performed the acts of kidnapping and torture, in that they deny the torture but admit to the kidnapping.
First of all, Mr. Maine is being accused of being a principal in the kidnapping when he wasn't. And arguably, he wasn't even an aider and abettor because, in his own words, he was a coward. He didn't stop the events from happening, and that was his greatest regret in life. The evidence disclosed that Pate and Dent were the principals. They're the ones that lured Roy. They're the ones that beat, confined, handcuffed, tortured, blindfolded, and kidnapped Roy. They started it, they ended it.
Afterwards, the prosecution team gave a final rebuttal as District Attorney Patrick Ferguson took to the stand.
No, this is a real murder with a real body, and he knew exactly what happened, and he led the police to the evidence, which was recovered, which did corroborate his statements.
Stay tuned for more information on the trial.
And News 25's ongoing, continuing coverage of that story continues now with a verdict regarding Brad Maine's involvement in the death of 27-year-old Roy Jaggers at Cathedral Canyon.
Today, following the Cathedral Canyon murder trial, defendant Brad Maine was found guilty on 2 charges: first-degree kidnapping with a deadly weapon and first-degree murder read by the jury foreman. Brad Maine was then taken away by the court bailiff. Deliberation for sentencing regarding the count of first-degree murder will begin on Thursday morning at 9, as well as a witness testimony on the penalty phase. News 25 will bring you more information regarding this case on that day.
In other area news, Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies arrest a woman reportedly for strangling a juvenile.
On May 12th, officers were dispatched in response to an alleged domestic battery. Upon arrival, officers made contact with a 12-year-old juvenile who alleged that they were assaulted by Deborah Krause. According to the declaration of arrest, Deborah was allegedly hitting a juvenile. The juvenile allegedly hit Deborah back to get her away from another juvenile, but Deborah allegedly pushed them, which caused them to lean on the bed. Deborah allegedly stood over the juvenile and began strangling them, which the juvenile stated made them dizzy and unable to breathe. Officers stated they allegedly saw 2 scratches on the right side of their neck and a scratch on the right chest area, consistent with statements. Officers then contacted the second juvenile, who stated that after the first juvenile intervened, Deborah then turned towards the other and allegedly started hitting them. Officers stated they allegedly saw scratches on their arm, consistent with statements. Deborah allegedly refused to speak to officers. Therefore, she was arrested and charged with domestic battery by strangulation, and child abuse or neglect.
And police take a local resident into custody after they say they found drugs during a routine traffic stop.
On May 12th, Heather Birmingham was arrested after a traffic stop was conducted by Nye County Police. After identifying the driver, officers conducted a wants and status check through dispatch. According to the declaration of arrest, Heather allegedly had a warrant out for her arrest and was taken into custody. Heather allegedly was found to have 2 clear bags in her pocket, one of which allegedly held methamphetamine and the other held morphine. Allegedly, Heather did not have a prescription for the morphine. Heather was then transported to Nye County Detention Center and charged with failure to appear for a traffic citation and 2 counts of possession of a Schedule I controlled substance.
All right, don't grab that remote. We'll be back with much more local news and opportunities for a job here in Nye County for you. We'll be right back.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
Hello and welcome back to News 25. Well, the Nye County Sheriff's Office is seeking applicants to serve on the proposed 5-cent diesel tax ballot question committee.
The Nye County Clerk's Office is seeking applicants to serve on a ballot question committee for the proposed 5-cent diesel tax planned for the 2024 general election ballot. Pursuant to NRS 295.121, the Nye County Clerk is seeking ballot committee members to prepare arguments advocating and opposing approval for the following diesel tax question to be submitted to voters in the general election on November 5th, 2024. For more information, visit NyeCountyNV.gov.
Well, May is Nevada Wildfire Awareness Month, and now there's a new website to help keep you, your family, and your home safer.
On May 2nd, the Board of County Commissioners proclaimed May to be Nevada Wildfire Awareness Month, highlighting that residents need to work together to prepare their homes and communities to survive wildfire and commit to becoming fire adapted. Emergency Management Director Scott Lewis presented the proclamation to the commissioners on behalf of the Bureau of Land Management, Nevada Fish and Wildlife, and University of Nevada, Reno Extension. Haley Mayo, Extension Educator with the University of Nevada, Reno Extension, said that the organization has a Living with Fire program for area residents. This year's message is to protect our home, prepare for wildfire, she told the commissioners, adding the Extension offers programs where residents can learn various ways to be prepared and protect yourself. The Extension, the Bureau of Land Management, the Nevada Division of Forestry, and the U.S. Forest Service help support the statewide LivingWithFire.com website, a site managed by the University Extension.
And if you're looking for a job, Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas is holding 2 hiring events next week to fill 2,500 positions.
Allegiant Stadium is getting ready to kick off a series of hiring events to fill 2,500 staffing positions. Both full-time and part-time positions will be available on Monday, May 22nd and Tuesday, May 23rd. Representatives with the stadium say available opportunities include roles in retail, food service, security, ticketing, guest service, custodial, parking, and several other departments. Applicants are encouraged to attend the in-person hiring events, where interviews will be held inside the stadium and on the field itself, if they are at least 18 and have a valid ID. Super Bowl 57 positions are included in the openings. Companies and organizations hiring include the following: the Las Vegas Raiders, UNLV, Silver and Black Hospitality, ABM, Parking and Transportation Group Las Vegas, ASM Global, and SAFE Management. Some of the roles being offered are event security teammates, guest experience teammates, ticket sellers, conversion technicians, retail event sales associates, event cleaners, flaggers, cashiers, cooks, and warehouse attendants. Interviews will be held on site immediately upon completion of the application process from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. each day, according to Allegiant Stadium representatives.
All right, we'll be right back with much more local news and health news you can use.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500.
Welcome back. Well, it's graduation season and commencement ceremonies were held for the College of Southern Nevada on Monday. I was able to attend one of the 2 commencement ceremonies. They were split into a morning commencement and an evening commencement, and the keynote speaker was amazing. She's still in high school, and I have the opportunity for a one-on-one interview with her that's scheduled tomorrow, and I will bring you further coverage on that story as it develops. So please stay tuned for her amazing story. And in other news, Southern Nevada Red Cross is teaming up with Sunrise Trauma Center during this Trauma Awareness Month.
The American Red Cross of Southern Nevada is joining with Sunrise Hospital Trauma Center to encourage all Nevadans to donate blood in May during National Trauma Awareness Month, as a single emergency can deplete the blood supply of a hospital or entire community. Schedule an appointment by using the Red Cross Blood Donor app, visiting redcrossblood.org, or calling 1-800-RED-CROSS. That's 1-800-733-2767. All who come to give blood, platelets, or plasma by May 19, 2023 will receive a $10 e-gift card and be automatically entered for a chance to win a trip for 2 to the 2023 MLB All-Star Game in Seattle. Visit redcrossblood.org/fanatics for details. If you would like to help out in Pahrump, Hafen Elementary is holding a blood drive on Thursday, May 18th from 2:30 till 6:30 in the multi-purpose room. You can schedule your appointment at www.donors.vitalant.org or call 877-258-4825.
In more health news, can diet play a role when it comes to your risk of developing dementia? Studies show that you might be increasing your risk of cognitive decline by more than 20% if your daily caloric intake is at a certain level and contains processed foods.
These are foods that, as the name implies, have been processed many, many times, often have ingredients and additives to it, often are high in sugars. So you could think of things like beverages, chips, fast food, even frozen foods. And it seems that people who have their diet is very heavily weighted to these type of foods seem to have a higher risk of dementia.
Cleveland Clinic neurologist Dr. Charles Bernick, who did not take part in the study, says the most common cause of dementia is Alzheimer's disease. And while age and genetics are the biggest risk factors for Alzheimer's, Dr. Bernick stresses diet is something you have control over. Eating plenty of vegetables, fruits, and whole grains can be beneficial for your brain health. Dr. Bernick says people who follow the Mediterranean diet generally have a lower risk of developing dementia and Alzheimer's disease. However, focusing on a good diet is just one of the healthy lifestyle choices you can make.
Exercise, proper sleep, engagement as far as staying mentally active. And I think it's really that combination that's going to have the most effect rather than each one separately.
And medical experts say right now is the best time for you to incorporate those healthy habits.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500. News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hi, good evening, Nevada. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios and worldwide on the local BTV app. The app you need on your phone doesn't take much space. It's low calorie. It's all good things. Fernley's high 85 today. It's 87 out there in Fallon. Carson City at 81 felt just about perfect, but not as good as Tonopah at 79. Nice cool day in Tonopah. Perfect weather. Out in Goldfield, it was 81, 92 in Beatty, 97 out in Amargosa. They're starting to sweat out there. Perfect poolside weather at Las Vegas, 92 degrees. Not in Death Valley, the toffees melting in the gift shop. It's 170 degrees. But here in the paradise of Pahrump, let's take a look. It's 90 degrees. Not too bad. 93 just a little bit earlier. Winds out of the southeast to 7 miles per hour. Felt pretty good today. Little rain squall this afternoon. We said it was going to be 15% chance of rain. I wasn't quite sure what that meant, but I did at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Sun rose this morning at 5:36 a.m. Setting this evening. Let's look for it to go down at 7:43 and head to a low tonight of 67 degrees under partly cloudy skies. You know it's going to be a gorgeous sunset. And as we head on into the week, got a few more gorgeous sunsets to look at on Wednesday and Thursday. Friday, good star watching, but weather throughout the week, pretty nice. 90, low 90s, mid 90s. We get a little bit of rain squall maybe on Sunday. Temperatures at night about 70 degrees. Winds moderate, 10 miles per hour. This is just a wonderful week of weather to look forward to and a good weekend to start making some plans for. So I hope you are. All right, back to the desk with news you can use. Here's Unette Gentry.
All right, thanks so much, John. And again, congratulations to all of the graduates out there, and especially to the College of Southern Nevada graduates, because I teach there and I'm a proud Coyote. And be sure to, again, stay tuned for that interview with the high school student who just graduated from CSN. Yes, you heard that right. Hear her special story coming up on News 25. Well, that does it for this edition. I'm Unette Gentry, and from all of us here, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on our next newscast. Good night.